Well, folks, it's time to kick it old school. Yeah.
Man. Oh, in the matter of a play, we went from, dang, we're going to be really late getting on to, I guess there's no overtime.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be a little closer there towards the end, but that one play kind of turned everything, and that run back by Sawyer was the ultimate dagger. I mean, that was it. It sucked all the life out of him, and you could tell when he was
just
running
like Davis's mama, if you're a MGO 30 fan.
What?
I just watched Mr. MGO 30, and he was talking about Penn State versus Notre Dame. And he used that exact same line. Sorry.
Gotcha. Well, first of all, before we get into it, Herb, how you doing tonight?
Man, I am good. Yeah. It's been, for people who were tired, or like, the first round of this was really, lackluster.
Yeah.
Second round of the playoffs was okay. These semifinal games have delivered. Well, first, let's say hello to a couple people. Real quick. So, first off, it takes a lot of money to make that man look, and a lot of time to make this man look as good as he did. So that's
what?
Fine.
You know what, Bama Standard? I'm actually getting my haircut tomorrow, so I did a little adjustment before we got on tonight. I got to take care of the beard, but I'm actually getting my haircut about 3:30 tomorrow, so I'm going to look super sharp tomorrow for nothing. I don't know what I'm going on.
Roll Tide. What's up, Lady Apple? I know she's excited.
Congratulations to Ohio State for the victory. Congratulations to you too, Lady Alpha.
Let's see. Jack, what's up?
We're gonna get into Jack Sawyer in a second. Yeah, that was awesome though.
Roll Tide. Giddy up Stallions.
Yeah. Shout out to Big Mike.
Yeah, what up, Kat? Good to see you. Glad you were in here.
Yes.
Randy coming in with uppercuts to start the game.
It's shout out to Randy. Thank you.
Randy was hating on Ohio State in the middle of the game, though. So I think
it's like kind of like a bitterness for all of us, just the fact that we're not in it. So it's kind of like, But then from a Georgia's fan standpoint, you're kind of like, we beat Texas twice, so you probably don't want to see Texas win that game and make it to the national championship, which didn't happen. So anyway, shout out to Randy.
Look at Shane coming in there. So what's up, Shane? Good to see you. Good time to announce too. Shane has already agreed to be part of our show on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. In case you're new to the channel, Shane's coming in repping Notre Dame. We talked to him right after the show last night. So he's breaking a streak here, unless his middle name has to be Mike. We've had Mike's two Mikes who are Notre Dame fans on 2 weeks in a row, but Shane's going to cap it off. So, man, we definitely appreciate you being on there, sir. Yes, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already.
Yes. Please, definitely.
Randy, I feel you. There was a lot.
Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Herb and I are still somewhat new to this. Still trying to get our feet wet to a certain extent, but we've been talking to some people kind of giving us different angles and everything. So we're going to put out more content, especially trying to aim for a daily basis, but putting out a lot more content, a lot more Bama football news, Bama news in general. So please like this, comment, subscribe, tell your friends.
Tell your enemies. Exes. We like them too.
Yeah, tell anybody. Tell people you don't talk to. Just send them a text message. Hey, check out N Rodg. It's pretty cool.
There you go. And then the best question of all: do I think Texas felt like Raj did in his fantasy football season?
Oh God, gosh, I'm sorry, gosh.
Raj, that's a question for you, Raj. Are you
okay? For those who have not been listening for the past few days, Herb won our fantasy football. Herb, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Herb, the commissioner of the league, won the fantasy football league. I came in fifth. I didn't even make the playoffs. I came in fifth. I'll live with that. But Herb won, and he's been throwing it in my face every single day since he won. In Herb's defense, when I won back in 2021, I threw it in his face pretty much every single day. So
every single year.
Every single year. So he's giving me payback for him win. So kudos to Herb. Congratulations. He won. I would say fair and square, but again, he was the commissioner, so I don't want to say that. It was rigged.
Yeah, Mike, that's the only thing. It's funny. The person who came in last was somebody who made a draft day trade that with their husband. That I was like, wait a minute. But all right, so on to the game. The way this game started out, I was like, if Ohio State could get out of their own way, this would be a blowout. But the Henderson play, that was one of the dumbest. First off, the guy was just talking trash to you. And maybe said something crazy. I don't know. Huh? You're
referring to that punch he threw, correct?
The punch he threw right in the field that you can't avoid calling, that gets you 15 yards. And it's different if you get a first down and you go back 15 yards, but you still have the first down. That wasn't it became, second and insurmountable. And, they end up punting. And any time that Ohio State had a chance to do something like that, it was always a crazy penalty. It's like that's what was keeping them in the game early. You agree?
I agree. And it's always funny when you see those plays because the guy's just going to, instigate you and poke at you until you do something stupid. And the person that always does something stupid is always the person that gets caught. The person who initiates things never gets caught because it's really, really subtle.
No.
But they're waiting for that payback and that retaliation. And that's the one that always gets caught. That's where the flag gets thrown in. And that's where you get chewed out by your coaches for doing something really, really stupid. So
and on the sideline, you could tell him he was like, my bad, my fault. And he just was. But Texas desperately needed something, and they get that touchdown right before half. And I'm like, okay, they're in
I'm like, it's the game. This is a game. It's 7-7. We got a nice little game here. And then, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then and then the Henderson. I don't know how you let that play go.
It's a 75-yard little screen pass, and you're thinking like, God, you should have guys playing back. Of course, Herb and I never played. I didn't play high school football, but Herb did. I didn't. But as far as the X's and O's are concerned, you should have some guys back there already kind of to stop him. But they ran a screen pass. He got some really, really good blockers from his offensive line, took it to the house, and that just kind of changed the momentum of everything. 14-7 going into half.
I honestly thought that was going to be it because Ohio State got the ball right after half.
Me too.
But they don't capitalize on it. And it kind of goes back and forth before Texas gets another score. But I honestly thought that was about to be it. Ohio State just looked better for most of the night, but then something happened that second half. Texas made some adjustments, and they were handling Ohio State early on in that third quarter.
They were. Texas played pretty well coming out in the second half. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day, I feel like they just didn't really capitalize on some of the turnovers, the interception that Howard threw. They just didn't really capitalize and punch it in for some points. Something that we saw from Bama football this year, not being able to capitalize on some turnovers. But I'm sorry, I had to throw that in. Sorry. But Texas just didn't capitalize, and it was unfortunate for them. One other thing that I kind of wanted to point out, I don't know if we were going to jump into this, but coming into this game, I think a lot of people were under the impression that Jeremiah Smith was just going to have a monster game because he had been having two monster games when they played Tennessee throughout the playoff run when they played Tennessee and Oregon, averaging 100-something on yards and some two touchdowns a game. But he was not a factor tonight. He was not a factor. Was it because he was getting double teamed? Was it because of the defense they're running, or were they locking him up, or was it what do you think it was, or were they just not targeting him?
He didn't get a lot of targets, that's for sure. You saw early on there was kind of a jump ball that was overthrown. I felt like it should have been thrown further to the outside and let him run up under it. But after that, you just didn't hear his name. And he's just the kind of physical talent you would think you get a little more jump balls to.
That's
I get it's a different defense, but I still think you give a guy like that some shots. Now they do have a great receiving core, so I get that part.
That's true. That's true. And shout out to Trey from the single squad, because he even mentioned on Tuesday that he doesn't think Smith's going to be the factor. He thinks it's going to be Abuka and Tate, which they were obviously. But to your point, when you have a receiver like Smith at 6'3", 215, you can throw passes to him that you can't throw to guys that are smaller than that. So I thought even with the defense they played, I still thought he would be somewhat of a factor. He wasn't. But they still won by 2 touchdowns anyway. So shout out to Ohio State for that. And I also feel like that means that – let me ask you this before I make my comment. Do you think this means that he's going to have a big game for the championship game, or do you think they're going to kind of play the same defensive scheme and try to lock him down too?
I think they're probably going to still play the same. Notre Dame has a good defense, and they have to take them away. They can't afford the big plays like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. But, they got a whole week to think about it because, like you said, they still have great receivers otherwise. So it's going to be interesting.
Yep.
Now welcome in somebody else. Trina, what's up? Yes, thank you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for the comments. And she's already given her early one.
Go Irish.
I think Sark's a great play caller, So like on the drive where they finally scored, I thought he dialed up some good looks, but
now
and then on that last drive as well. What's up?
Now the play call, he is a good play caller generally, but on the last drive they had when it was first and goal and the pass interference calls were being thrown, QB sneak it and try that, and so let him run in behind your big offensive line and get the touchdown and tie the game up. But they didn't. Then there was a second and third play where they kind of did that, not a screen pass, but the what was it where they just kind of threw it out to the running back?
Pitch. Little pitch. That was Raj. I sat up when they did that. So let's go back to your first point. First and goal from the 1, right? Yeah. There's still time left in the game. What, 3 minutes left? You've got 2 timeouts, and you got the 2-minute timeout that you don't call a 2 timeout, but that's what it is, 2-minute timeout, right? Your worst case, if I run it 4 times and don't get it, the Ohio State starts from the 1-yard line.
Exactly.
You can probably still get the ball back.
Exactly.
The first run, I was like, it didn't look like a great play call. I get it, whatever. The pitch, I was like, this is over.
Why are you losing yard? Yeah, you started.
Yes, you can't. You haven't been out running them that way all game, and then to run that play, it was crazy. Yeah. So I that's honestly when I thought they ran. And you expect better from Sark. It's almost like they got down there with some big passes, and you just didn't trust his run. I get it, but man, that was a horrible play.
It was horrible play calling, and then it led to the fumble by Ewers. And let's be honest, nobody was blocking that guy. He just came in, hit Ewers, and I can't blame Ewers for that one. He just got hit. Should have got rid of the ball, but I mean,
at that point, you almost needed a jump ball kind of. But who are you throwing it up to? Like
exactly.
He just doesn't have their best receiver was hurt. Already, and you've got nobody else who's really making a game. So.
I thought
Sark was a great play caller for us.
I thought that they would have gave the ball to Ryan Wingo a little more. Once Golden got hurt, it didn't really happen. So Silas Bolden stepped up a little bit. Bond.
We just don't shade at all the coordinators. We hate them all. So.
Isaiah Bond had his Isaiah Bond moment in the game.
Hey. You know what? Hate to see it. So
darn.
Sad. Yeah, it's darn.
Well, he dropped it. He jumped for no reason. I'm like, the ball wasn't thrown that high. He jumped.
He dropped. And that's like the best thing that you're going to remember about him from this whole playoff. So, hey.
Yep.
Hated to see it, Bond. I was just so sad to see you drop that pass.
Yep.
Let's catch up real quick with a couple people that said something. He said all of Ohio State. Yeah. We said earlier we thought the winner of this game was winning the whole thing. So we'll wait till Tuesday night to make an official prediction. But I don't.
Yeah, but come on, we know, Randy. We'll pick. Yeah, come on.
Welcome in, Michelle. How are you doing? Michelle, and by the way, a tradition we always have for anybody who's listening. Anybody who wants to send us in their score predictions, on Tuesday night, a video score prediction, we will play it on air Tuesday night. So I do so. And they just kind of there were big plays here and there, and then they made the most important ones. But they still, as much as we're talking about, they only let up 14 points the whole game.
Exactly.
Carol, what's up, Carol? One of our favorite Bulldogs. We're not warm here. That's for we had snow. I don't know if people saw my picture on there. We had snow, but we're definitely.
It was cold here in Arlington. We got a little bit of snow, but not enough to stick and not enough to take the kids out in. So it was very, very minimal, but cold.
What up, Sean? Good to see you.
Sean, thank you for joining us.
Trina says Sark has taken a nosedive since then. Sometimes guys are better. I say this all the time on all the programs. Sometimes you're just a better coordinator than you are a head coach. And if you can just concentrate on that side of the ball, it's better for you. And sometimes the whole overall thing is not good. So
he'll have Arch Manning next year.
The grapes are not sticky enough. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Took some work apart. Michelle send it into us. We'll play it Tuesday night. So,
24-14.
Since we're walking a gloom pad fedora, I guess I know what his pick is.
Yeah.
Well, Kat, we always look forward to yours, to your pick. So let us know, or send it in to us. We'll make that.
Yeah. Send us a
video.
So
what do you think this game means for Quinn Ewers' legacy? Or
this is a very, very good question. I don't think he had a horrible game, but by him not being able to lead Texas to a national championship, which everybody thought was going to happen, I think that's going to stick with them. They came pretty close, obviously, and I think had they won this game, they would have beat Notre Dame. And of course, we just mentioned the winner of this game is going to beat Notre Dame anyway. As far as his legacy, he'll go
Unless
down.
Shane is still watching. We love you, Shane. Sorry.
Yeah, Shane. Sorry about that, Shane. He's a pretty good Texas quarterback. I think going forward, though, his injury history is something that's always going to come into conversation. And some people, I think Texas fans are going to wonder, like, what if we had played Arch more? Could Arch have done better than Quinn? Quinn is still a good. Which one?
The Arch one. The Arch play.
No, it wasn't. No. Why? You thought it was?
I was just close. I think if they called the fumble on the field, that they would have left it as a fumble.
I was about to say, I don't think they had enough video evidence to kind of overturn that, so they just left it. But when they showed the video evidence, I didn't think it was a fumble, so he got away with that. But no, back to your initial question, I think some people are going to wonder if they let Arch play a little more, would things have turned out a little differently? Would they have won? Would they have beaten Georgia in the SEC championship? Would they have won this game? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they would have won this game.
No. Well, they would have. He looked rattled against Georgia. They were.
Yeah,
they were going to win the Georgia game either. So.
Yep.
Texas fans, I think you'll get what you want next year with Arch. There's been rumors he's got a huge offer from another school to transfer up there and stay. So you never know. I don't think he's NFL ready, but
right.
I can't blame him for.
But what if he returns next year and gets? What if he returns next year and gets hurt next year?
I mean, if you're Sark, though, do you let him return? Like, at this point, aren't you ready for the Arch Manning era? One of those kind of Dylan Gabriel things where you kind of usher him out the door and say it's time for the next guy. I mean, isn't it?
I think that's what everybody in Austin is waiting for Arch Manning. So
yeah. So I don't know that you could keep him at bay much longer, for real. Yep. So, and that was a thing. Especially, I think the way the second half came out, I thought Texas had a lot of chances in this game, but they just couldn't get it done. When it mattered, there was some Ewers. That was another thing. His pocket presence at times was just terrible. Yeah. There were times where if he had any mobility, he stepped up into sacks where I was like, and obviously it's easier to see from here and there. That's why I've got the body frame that I had, and I never really played serious football. But there's just times when I was like,
don't lie. When we lived overseas. Herb probably your DB. He was a DB for Patch American High School when we lived in Germany. So,
but there was nothing notable about anything that I ever did.
You had the big goggles. Herb had the big, gigantic goggles that he played in. He looked like James Worthy in like a football uniform. So let's not forget about that. Herb had some skills. Better at basketball, but yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Raj. This was for Ewers that Katie had all down there. I don't know how much game he's got. So I guess that would depend. And he can't go to Miami.
How much game does Carson Beck have? Carson Beck does not look like he can be dating one of the camera.
Right.
He does not.
That's the most random. Oh man.
When you look at Carson Beck and you look at the Cavender twins, do you say, yeah, these two go together? Or what? No.
Carson Beck just catches strays before we even get to his thing. Cat. I think there will be, especially the way the game played out and the way it ended. I thought he was coming in at the one for sure. Yeah. They've had more running plays for him. So and even as you're looking at like the touchdowns that Texas scored, because they're replaying a couple years, Ewers didn't make like great throws. They were just like really great.
No, they didn't.
So there's nothing notable that I could tell that he did. So I'm surprised that he wasn't. And so,
like I said, when it was first and on the goal, I mean, put Arch in. Let him
I hear that, but Carson Beck did also. That's why we're kind of speculating. Like I said, there's the rumor out there. For Ewers going to the league. I know he said he's going, but who knows? And I think this was for Ewers.
Okay, if Ewers goes to the league, what do you think? What round do you think he falls in? Second
or third?
Yeah.
I get that, but at least on the goal line, I'm taking him out. But it was pretty ineffective for most of the game. I think his defense gave his team a chance to win. I don't think Ewers was doing anything to win them the game. So I think that's the problem. I agree with you. You can't take a vet out in a situation like that, but they're going to look back on this game and think, Art should have had more chances, but especially since the fan base has already been clamoring for him. But I can't think of anything like great that Ewers did, except for the almost falling over little pitch. Like I can't think of anything he did like major to help his team. So looking at anyone else. Randy, I posted this, man. So well, at least for our team, not necessarily but I've been looking for 2025. So I
kind of feel like we started.
I feel like I had more hops early. I feel like I had more hops, but I definitely have the standard.
Herb was an excellent basketball player. Piggyback, Herb was great in high school basketball, and Herb dominated. If you remember the old rec on the University of Alabama camp, but the rec when they had like carpet, Herb dominated the rec. Herb and his guys dominated the rec. They would go out there. Was it Sunday afternoons whenever all the hoopers would go out there? Yeah. Herb was one of those guys and dominated. So yes, Herb could hoop. Herb was.
I could jump. I couldn't shoot, but I could jump and I could play defense. So the teams would pick up whoever was captain pick up 3 other shooters and me, just so I had somebody to play defense and rebound. So And Raj, this is about your Carson Beck slander. Hey, like nobody's got Carson's back.
Carson Beck, if you're listening, hey man, you're always more than welcome to come on the show. We could talk about it, man to man. I was just joking around. Didn't mean anything. Too funny. But still.
Fifth round, I think, for Beck. And I could. Now he got some bit a bum knee, and that's really gonna slow me down. So And Carol, it didn't. And this is like the shade that I might be throwing at Ken is also I listened to a Texas podcast. I think I said this on there too. After the second Georgia game. And those guys said the same thing about him. They're like, he's just a dude. He's like, he won't lose you many games, but he won't win you many games either. And tonight they needed a guy that could win them a game, And look, the Ohio State front was on them. It looked like they made some adjustments second half. They gave him a little more time. And maybe, the wide receiver core isn't what you think it is, but there just wasn't anything that jumped out to me about it. So
I agree.
But kudos to Ohio State, man. They did kind of lean on the running game a little bit more. The running backs Judkins was running tough. That man wanted a title.
I would say angry. He was running angry. And Travion Henderson obviously had the big Travion Henderson played well, and obviously he had the big screenplay in the second quarter to kind of close things out and set the tone for the second half. So kudos to Ohio State, man. They earned it. They played well. Again, Smith was absolutely just a non-factor in this game, but I think that's going to be different in the national championship game. I think he's going to get some more targets. And of course, we'll give our predictions for that game probably on Tuesday. So,
Is it sad that I was going for Ohio State more than Texas just because we know that we have Ohio State people that will come on the show, but our Texas people have been elusive?
I was going for Ohio State too. Another reason why is because since I live out here in Texas, everybody always says Texas is back once they win a big game. And I knew it had they won tonight and won the national championship. That's all I'm going to hear is Texas is back. Texas is back. But now they got to look forward to 2025. So
just like the rest of us.
Just like the rest of us. Yeah.
Yep. I like how nobody in the SEC was banding together for Texas either. We're like, you're not really in the SEC.
Yeah, not yet. We don't. We're kind of trying to figure that. We haven't got your paperwork yet. So.
What is going on? So the last thing we wanted to kind of look at, two last things real quick before we go in. One quick look at the game the night before. It's funny because the scores are kind of switched from what I thought, how I thought the games would play out. I thought Notre Dame and Penn State would be more of like a 28-24 game. And this game would be closer to like a 27-24. So it was interesting. It made both games really, really watchable though.
Yes. I'm going to go on record by saying the Notre Dame Penn State game may have been more entertaining, but it wasn't the entire Notre Dame Penn State game because it was 10-10 going in the fourth quarter. It was that fourth quarter.
You called me, I think, and said, Herb, this is boring.
It was boring, but that fourth quarter kind of set it apart. That's when both teams just kind of turned it up a notch, and we just saw a different game. Notre Dame played their game throughout, played their style of offense and defense throughout the game, had a couple of big passes here and there, but pretty much just ran the ball. On the other hand, for Penn State, Drew Aller and we know somebody who is a big Drew Aller guy, who's really, really high on Drew Aller, thinks Drew Aller's the next big thing. But I mean, he only had like 130 passing yards and one interception, no touchdowns. Just didn't look that great. And that interception he threw towards the end was a horrible pass. So I think if you're Penn State and James Franklin going in next year, I mean, Aller's probably going to be your starting quarterback, obviously, but you're going to have to get him some more targets, get him some more passes. He's got some accuracy issues to work on as well.
How do you go a whole game and not have a catch by a wide receiver?
That's a good point. None of Penn State's receivers caught any passes. They were all the completions were to his tight ends and running backs. So I have no idea. I wonder how that went in the locker room after the game, where the wide receivers just kind of like.
Trina, this is a question that we're going to ask the entire panel on Tuesday. And then CBS Sports has a good article about it as well. It's it's a thing. We'll talk about that for sure. So there was something else in there. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, it's
Yep.
And then you got to start thinking, how many chances are you really going to get? You know,
that's a good point. That's something I was thinking too. Obviously, a transition to Arch Manning next year, and honestly, we don't know how good Arch is going to be. You know, we just know he can run the ball. He's more mobile than Quinn Ewers, but accuracy wise, I have absolutely no idea. He's just going off the Manning name right now.
Yep, this is a good. Yeah, that's actually we've talked about too with Quinn. We don't think that he's going to have a great career.
Well, I don't think he is either, because whatever team he's going to get drafted, well, it depends. Let me correct myself. If he gets drafted to a team that already has a good offensive line and he's going to be a backup quarterback for a while, he might have a better career. But if he gets drafted high to a team that has a horrible offensive line, he's going to have a rough career.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Like I said, there's a good article about it. We'll touch more on it Tuesday night. But it's a terrible look, man. It was like 1-15 against Thompson, and why he's been at Penn State.
And you know what? I'm glad Freeman won, because James Franklin kind of poked at him before the game in the conference, mentioning the fact that he thinks everybody should be in a conference and all that. And then he was like, "No shit against Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman." And Marcus Freeman was a class act. He just sat there and said, "Okay, all right, cool." He showed him out on the field, though. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to send this message out while we're on here. Just give one of our buddies a quick chance to at least come on and say hey real quick.
Okay.
But otherwise, man, shout out to Notre Dame, man. That was a good game, a good win by them. Man.
And today is Marcus Freeman's birthday.
Son of Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Yeah, he turns 39 today. So happy birthday to Marcus Freeman. We're happy for you, man.
Yeah, Trina, your record. I mean, there's at some point you can't escape what your record is as far as that goes. So, but like I said, we'll talk more about that game too as well. We'll get the Notre Dame perspective from Shane. So that'll be a fun one as well. Somebody you've already thrown some shade at too, but we did throw on the end of this just because it was big news coming into the LA. Is there any other insults that you kind of want to throw at Carson Beck?
I don't have any more insults for Carson. I don't even look at it as an insult. I think it was just more of an observation that a lot of people agree with. So what Herb was going to get into is today we all found out. Well, yesterday we found out Carson Beck was entering the portal, which was a surprise to a lot of us. Maybe not some Georgia fans, maybe not to Randy, but to a lot of us, we were surprised because we were under the impression he had already declared for the draft, and that's the lane he was choosing. But I guess sometime yesterday morning or whatever, he decided he's just going to enter the portal instead.
You think that's when he decided it?
What now?
You think that's when he decided it? I think he decided it at 2:00 in the morning on a Friday with his girl texting
with his girl,
him. I think that's
maybe I miss you. Yeah. So then I guess
she wasn't surprised he got back out of the portal and transferred to Miami. That's interesting.
I was. Yes, I guess the question once we found out he was in the portal, the big question was where, and I guess Miami. Obviously, he did transfer to Miami, but Miami was the big suitor at first, and some people maybe said Oregon or somewhere else, but. He ends up going to Miami, and for those who don't know, his girlfriend, Hannah Cavender, she goes to Miami, University of Miami. So I guess obviously he's going there to be closer to her, but I also feel like he's going there because the offense that Miami ran this year may be suitable for his needs next year. It's just going to be a very, very
driven. You already posted something on this. They got nothing to do with the offense that they're running and all this stuff.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Oh, by the way, Randy, we did repost this, but I looked back and I messed up the tag on your name. So that's why you probably didn't see it. But I already reposted yours.
I saw it. I like, So Randy made a good point about it too. No, I mean, he's going to be able to throw the ball there. Now, as far as Miami's receivers, I don't have their roster in front of me. I know Isaiah Horton's obviously transferred to Bama. Restrepo, their all-time leading receiver. Didn't he exhaust the eligibility? Isn't he like? I
don't know. And the tight end that had been there for like 8 years, I think he's gone.
Yeah, he left too. So he'll have some new receivers to throw to. So we'll see what Beck can do at Miami.
Yeah. But to this point right here, I didn't think. I don't know about. I don't know if anybody's draft stock has fallen as far as anybody's as Beck did this past year. So that's going to be interesting. So, I didn't think so, especially at that stage. He had already declared and went in. So, but obviously, I mean, I'm not an insider. We don't have any sources. So he just wasn't on my radar, is what I'll say. So when it came out that he was entering, I was like, wow. And it was like within 2 seconds, people were saying, oh, yeah, it's Miami. I was like, oh, okay. So they definitely had to talk before that. So, and that's the thing. Like I said, I haven't paid attention. They're going to – this is one of those, like when you look at something like that, you're moving to a spot where you can get, a starting position pretty easy, but – you're not throwing to anybody. It's not established. So it's kind of like, are you tanking your whole career for that? So, well, I would assume you didn't get it because of the injury, right? Not just because of anything else, or you're just talking about just the interview stage. So, again, like I said, you're just smarter than I am on that one. I wasn't expecting all of a sudden to get the transfer portal and be gone. So. And
keep in mind, I looked at Miami's schedule for next year. Their first game is playing Notre Dame. So Carson Beck's first game is going to be playing Notre Dame, a team who's going to be obviously just coming off a national championship appearance. So that should be interesting. Should be interesting for him. Again, to Randy's point, I mean, Miami lost 75% of their production on they signed 1 4-star receiver. So it could go really, really good or really, really bad.
Carol, that's what I think. I just don't think it gets better for you. And so have you used this one decision to tank your whole career? So somebody who's excited, Raj, and wanted to say hello real quick before we get off of those. What's up, Trey? How are you doing, sir?
I had to pop on real quick. My voice is starting to come back. Yelling, there's a lot of screaming.
Right. Yeah. And a lot of water tonight, right?
A lot of hydration, a lot of water.
Hydration.
Okay.
How are you feeling, man?
First of all, congrats. Congrats on the victory, man. Congratulations. Yeah.
When the Sawyer play happened, like everybody in the house just started screaming. We were screaming already when the sack. And he picks up. We're like, "Oh shit! Is he about to take this to the house?" And it was like, that was a moment.
When he was taking it to the house, I was surprised that nobody from Texas, none of the receivers or nobody tried to chase him down. I know Sawyer's not like a 4.40 guy, but I mean,
I doubt a lot of them even saw it though. You got to think from where they're at. Well, because I think they're running routes, they're in there. They probably like us. They see the sack and they're like, okay, and then it bounces up and hit, and he's running. They're like, oh hell, they're already 20 yards.
I don't think they saw it.
Yeah, I don't think they saw it right. Remember where we're looking at versus. But
I feel like they had to know what was going on. But I wonder if some of them just were like they looked at him running and they just looked at the scoreboard, the jumbotron. They're like, you know what, man, it's been good here, but it's over. Maybe I'm just gonna go ahead and go to the sidelines or something.
I think some of them definitely made that decision where they looked sorry. Well, it's a wrap. What's the guy Golden? Is that the number 2 from Texas?
Yes, or because they got Golden, they got Wingo. Then they have the Bond. Bond is 7.
One who was out when he came back in the game. That's
Golden. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have a theory, and anybody in the chat can argue whatever with me about this. To me, I think he actually made a business decision. Notice the whole time he's out. They take the lead, and then suddenly they're like, oh, or they take tie, and then suddenly they're like, oh, Golden's back. And I'm like, well, why didn't he come back at the half? When JT got hurt, he was immediately back in there. After the halftime, you had a halftime to kind of get together, and then suddenly he's back out there, and I'm like, this dude don't look hurt to me. I think a business decision happened, but I ain't trying to call the guy out, but we are like business decisions seem to be being made on his part right now.
Yeah, well, I think you see a lot of that Wow, that's Ryan Day, everyday Bucksman. Congrats, Trey. Yes, sir.
Appreciate that.
Yep. And maybe he didn't think he was going to make a difference out there. So who knows? Oh, I forgot, Trey. I've been saving this just for you, man. No, it says Alabama on it, but this is your Kenny White.
My bars over there. I wasn't even at home. I was somewhere else. My bars over there, so I got to pour up in the basement. I was at my people's house.
Oh, Trey. I always got the water.
Got the water again.
Yeah, Raj, good job. Were you surprised at the play calling on that? I mean, you got to think, man. It's first and goal from the one. Were you honestly already thinking about, okay, what we gonna do in the next possession, or were you thinking we had a chance to get a stop here?
No, that pitch play. Once they made a pitch play, yes, that's what I said. It's a shock. Everybody.
I was like, that's a terrible play call.
No, I know y'all.
Trey, before you came on, Herb and I were discussing this, and I said, first of all, when they had it on the 1 yard line, I said, why don't you just QB sneak it, or even put Arch in and let him sneak it in, whatever the case may be. But then it was 2 plays later, they ran the pitch play and they lost a couple yards. Everybody was like, why would you even run that play?
It was an awful call. I'm in a house full of Ohio State people. All of us were like, ooh, that's an ugly call, but we might have a shot now. We could pin our ears back and see what happens, and then the best scenario possible happened. But I don't know where's Shark, because he had everybody on the wall. Honestly, at that point, I had even yelled out. I said, I don't know. Maybe we need to let them score and leave these 3 minutes with 3 timeouts.
Yeah. Right.
And then he does the pitch play, and I said, oh, no, we can stop this right now.
I didn't think they were going to score after the pitch play. I honestly thought it was done then. So I thought their best hope, though, was to at least, because Texas still had 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning. And like I said, I know you don't call it 2-minute warning, but it's always 2-minute warning to me.
It's still 2-minute warning.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, with the pitch play, like I told folks, I said, look, even if we stop them on 4th down, we're now at least playing it to 10 instead of the 2. So now we at least aren't in our end zone trying to make this play. So everything about that play was
terrible.
This game. It was awful.
Another point to why I said, man, just run it from the 1 4 times. At the very least, Ohio State has the ball on their half yard line. Their first couple plays are going to be like QB sneaks just to get it out. They're not going to risk anything stupid. So no, pin them back, keep it there. Yeah, I don't know. The play calls leading up to that were good. And it's like it just fell apart once they got to the 1. And you had 20 pass interference calls go your way to get you there. Yeah. So I mean, come on.
All the calls were in their favor. I mean, all the holding penalties, all that. Like, everything was in their favor. They had a home crowd. It sounded like a very Texas crowd. Everything was in their favor. And they left that door open. So, hey, Sark did what Ryan normally does, and I'm fine with that. On our show on
here's a comment going along with that, too, by the way, if Day somehow loses this one. But you've been saying it since it started. If they don't win the whole thing, you're done with Day anyway.
Based on the way the day went, so I was upset with him about certain calls today, but I also was upset about penalties. I didn't know how to feel about this game because I'm looking. I said, okay, we got a lot of stupid penalties. Henderson doesn't make that type of a stupid penalty. He does.
Ever, right? You know, you're up 7-0 and some guy's talking trash to you. Do you swing at him? Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's usually so solid in the head, so I couldn't believe when he made that penalty. I'm like, bro. Then a couple of the offensive holding penalties and these type of things. Honestly, with the game Shark coach is usually the Ryan Day game. So I got to see what the other side was like, where you're getting the calls, all these things are going right. You get down there and somehow you do the worst thing possible.
Yep. And Sark got plenty of hate already earlier in the chat, so you have to check that out.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay. I was driving back home, so I was like, here we get back.
Everybody's been catching a little bit of strays. Sark, Franklin, Carson Beck. So the hatred has been spread out pretty well.
Everybody y'all named that caught strays are people that I've gave strays to. Drew Aller caught strays too, hopefully.
Okay, quick question. Trey, have you seen Carson Beck's girlfriend?
Is that not Photoshop? That's really his girlfriend?
See?
Yeah.
I was being dead serious. I didn't really thought I've been seeing that on Twitter, but I'm like, that ain't really his girl. They probably photoshopping this for a joke. That's
Herb, he just proved my point.
In Miami, what they say he's going to Miami for?
Yes, she's an identical.
They've already posted a TikTok together.
I said that does not look like the type of girl that Carson Beck would date. That's it. That just.
I really thought that was like photoshopping me.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Well, good to know. Sometimes the internet is actually factual.
He must have a great personality, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and what's the last number I heard come out? Miami's giving him $4 million. is the number I read. So
I have no idea.
it was right between whatever Randy predicted. I think between 2 and 4. So maybe it was 3. It was whatever Randy, whatever you posted in yours. If you're still out there, you hit it right in the middle.
If Underwood could make 10 coming out of high school, and I guess Beck can get 3
or 4. Yeah.
Yeah, three to not win the national championship in Miami because that's not
winning no national championship. Yeah.
So
I don't even know if they win the ACC.
No, I heard she's related to Manti Te'o's former girlfriend. Yeah, Kat. It's in this case, it's the money and the 2 a.m. text. Now we can meet in person instead. That's what I think. So, yeah, girl, that's what it could be a very big personality, Lady Alpha, very big personality.
Shout out to Lady Alpha too. We were having funny combos and doing the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
We were having funny combos on Twitter during the game. Shout out to everybody in the chat though too.
Yep. So how long are you gonna celebrate this one before you start thinking about the next game?
Just tonight.
When I wake up tomorrow, then it's time to think about the next game.
Yep.
Really?
I just say is I'm a Steelers fan, but I that season seems doomed. I haven't even worried about.
Man, we were gonna make some quick. Go ahead, Ross.
When do the Steelers play? The Steelers play tomorrow, don't they?
Tomorrow at 8:00.
Oh boy,
season's over at 10:30, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
sorry about that,
fan, but my.
If you said between 3 and 5, then it was 4. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yep. But I thought that. Say again.
Tomorrow morning, that's when I'll start thinking about the Notre Dame game. Me and Mike will probably come up with some type of bet or something.
Oh yes. Hey, whatever bet y'all do, because Mike's already sent us a video thing. Whatever bet y'all do, send it to us. Let us know what it is.
Yeah, we'll come.
I'm
sure because
we definitely got.
We do bets for meaningless games. This is a championship game. We gotta have some type of bet on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's over for the offense has just failed. The losing streak has come at the wrong time. I think the Ravens are clicking, so I think it's over now.
Not been a pretty December for us.
No, and I don't know 4. I know 4 is high, but what did the Texas guy that went to Duke? I thought he got 4 also, but I don't remember if that's correct or not. And I'm probably not going to look it up since we're already kind of going. I know Raj is an old man and he needs to get his rest soon. So
no, I was like, let me hop on real quickly.
Oh no, man, we were watching. That's why we're reading. I told her you'll not the greatest moment in podcasting history, but I said, hey Raj, hold on a second, let me send this message back. I was texting you back or sending the message back to you so you can get the links. So there's a dead spot there for about a minute.
It was snowing here, but it's not snowing crazy. And I was only
Malik Murphy.
Let me see how quick I can get in this driveway and set my studio up.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Any last thoughts on the game tonight?
I'm just happy that I didn't have to drink in misery. I got to drink in happiness tonight and enjoyed this. I will enjoy this, and we got I got a LeBron Hennessy and a white Hennessy waiting, for next Monday. That's when we crack open the real bottles. Tonight, regular Hennessy. Special edition.
I haven't had the LeBron one yet, but obviously I need to get on that one.
It's really well aged.
About 40 years aged.
About 40 years aged. Yeah. It tastes good sometimes, and then sometimes it just falls flat.
And sometimes it still dunks on.
Yeah,
sometimes it still hits you like out of nowhere, but after that one,
like the other night with that windmill he did against Dallas. Yeah.
And then guess what? Yeah. They lost by 20, so that's kind of describes that Hennessy. So if you get a really good sip, you want to give the next sips to your friends because it's not going to taste good after that. So
that's not even funny, Trey. No, I ain't gonna lie.
I'm a LeBron guy. Maybe.
Dude, that is great stuff.
Yes,
the especially at that price, the Terramana, that is good stuff.
That is very good.
I actually had an in-between shot of that tonight too.
Yeah. Thank you, Kat. Yes, after you take a sip, you need to put it up on the shelf for a couple weeks. And don't put it next to the AD Hennessy because. All right. So anyway, we're gonna go. Again, Trey, man, appreciate you jumping on with us real quick.
Of course. Good invite.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sir. All right, Raj, you ready to get on out of here, sir, too, as well?
Yes, sir.
All right, final thoughts. I saw in there, and I thought it was Carol's. She's not looking forward to it. Carol, I haven't been excited about the playoffs at all anyway, but I will say these 2 semifinal games have been good.
They have been good.
Again, I don't know how. There it was, yeah. It's just tough when your team isn't in it and hasn't been.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. I'm just hoping that the national championship game is competitive. And I think we all know who most of the people in America are going to pick. But I just want it to be a nice competitive game. And obviously, Bama's not in it, but I'm still going to watch the game as a college football fan. So,
yeah. Actually, I don't think it was Malik Murphy I was thinking about then. I was thinking about the Tulane guy that ended up there. I think he got a high price to go to Duke. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and yes, how'd I almost forget this? Coach Saban got announced going to the College Football Hall of Fame. Was it a year ago that he stepped down? So this was a very sad and very, very weird day. So, man, yes. I would have gone to at least, well, I won't mention which Bama went because then certain fans will remind me of the outcome. But there are ones that I've been able to go to had it not been on Monday night. I don't get that.
I don't like it. I haven't liked it in a long time. I still remember the 2nd and 26 game. And I remember after that game when I was up to like 3 a.m. just based off pure excitement. But then I had to wake up a couple hours later just to go to
Carol,
work.
that's my fear too.
Which really sucked. But
yes.
Yeah, yes. I wish those games would be like a Friday or Saturday or something like that. So
agreed.
Yep.
All right, Raj, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everybody tuning in, listening to us. Come back and check with us on Tuesday. Like we said, Shane, who was in here earlier, will be our Notre Dame person. We'll announce who the Ohio State person was, so we can keep that going. And again, thank you to Trey for jumping on here and the Cinco Squad and well. So that's what it was. The former two. That's the guy I was talking about. So
oh wow.
Okay. Hope you're not in here, Shane, to see this, but I just feel like if it goes sideways with it. Oh, there we go. The first mic.
5 foot nothing.
We have a couple videos from Mike that we're going to show on Tuesday night. I think you guys will enjoy those.
Yes.
Might have to edit.
Shout out to Mike. Appreciate you for joining us, man.
Yep. Good fan. Been on there was a couple weeks ago. So,
yeah.
All right, Raj. Everybody, we hope to see y'all Tuesday night. Appreciate you jumping in with us. Appreciate the comments. I always say it. The comments help make the show. So we love each and every one of y'all. And on that one, thank you, Kara, for stopping by. Always good to have them in the house. Oh, the sharpshooters. What's up?
Appreciate you guys
stepping in too as well. So, and there's already a Notre Dame. Well, Justin, you're gonna have to send us your video prediction for that so we can play it Tuesday night as well. So, night, Lady Alpha, night, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and as always, roll tide.